Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Buddies Much. My name's Andrew, and I'm here with
Chase
and
Sean.
And today, quick news update for you.
Little news update. I don't know if any of you saw it, but the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer just came out.
Yeah, it is called No Way Home.
Little Doc Ock action.
Classic Doc Ock.
Yeah, we got teased with Green Goblin, too.
Very
That,
exciting.
little Green Goblin bomb and maniacal laugh in the background. That's pretty dope. What do you guys think? Did you like the trailer?
Yes, my Spider-Lord.
Now that's dangerous to
like things?
to look at, to judge a book by its cover is what I'm saying.
Right, but I mean that is the point of a trailer.
And that's the point of a book cover.
But did you guys like the Suicide Squad trailer?
Not particularly.
I don't ever think I watched
And
it.
I didn't like the movie. I'm pretty hyped. This is one of the first trailers I've seen in a long time where I watched it and was like, okay, I'm down. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with the whole Doctor Strange stuff. I hope that it doesn't get too far out there.
Well, they needed an excuse to go interdimensional, because I don't think Spider-Man just jumps,
Right.
So they needed a guy.
Spider-Verse he did.
And if you look at the
But that was
trailer,
a completely different.
they also needed an excuse because everyone knows he's Peter Parker now. And the whole point is that he's like, I don't want people to know. Can you change?
Cast a spell to remove the memory or something?
Nah. End of the movie. He's going to accept that everyone knows he's Peter Parker.
I don't know. No.
It'll all just work out where it's like we'll find a way to erase everyone's memory except Ned and Aunt May
and MJ,
and he'll be like, oh, cool. And I think that's how it'll be.
Now they're going to send him back to diapers, and then they're actually going to do a Tom Holland Spider-Man origin story.
Is it like slightly disappointing that like the big setup they did in that last movie is like immediately solved in this movie?
No, I
You know what I mean?
I like the origin story idea because Aunt May would be married to Uncle Ben, who's Neil Patrick Harris.
Wait, what?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, this is your set. Okay, I thought
This is my.
that's your brain. Okay, I thought
This is me calling it right now.
I see.
I don't know. I'm pretty hyped. I thought that it's cool that they brought the original Doc Ock back, and
That is pretty cool.
I think it's cool that they brought Green Goblin back. He's a good villain.
Yeah.
So
Hello, Peter.
hello, Peter. That sounded more like Joe from Family.
Peter.
Hey, Peter. You're casting a lot of webs.
So, what do you guys think of the theories of having Tom Holland with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, so I think
there's some truth to that.
I don't know if it's just Photoshop, but I think people did confirm they were on set. My theory is that he's going to go interdimensional with Doctor Strange, and we're going to get some cameos where he jumps into a universe with, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Do you think it's just cameos, or do you think they're gonna like spend some time?
Spend some time.
I think it's just cameos.
Yeah.
I think
I gotta agree with you there. That it,
I'm trying to think how they would like split up the time and how it would make sense, and I don't think they could do it in 2.5 hours. But I've been wrong before, so we'll see.
I like the whole
I
Doctor
don't know.
Strange thing.
Yeah.
When is his next movie going to be out?
I think this is quote unquote his next movie.
No, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be another.
A different Doctor Strange movie?
I think there's supposed to be like a Doctor Strange 2. And I think rumor has it, I was reading this earlier today, that Scarlet Witch is actually going to be the bad guy.
That's kind of interesting.
But I don't know. It's probably just rumor.
Okay, well.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff happening with the Marvel series. A lot of stuff happening with the DC series, too. So, we've also got a new movie. What's this? Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, not
That's
Shang-Chi.
right.
That's Iron Fist, right?
It's not Iron Fist.
Okay, is this a D-lister character from Marvel, or did
No.
they just rebrand Iron Fist?
No. So Shang-Chi is like his own guy, and him and Iron Fist have tussled in the past.
Okay, I didn't know anything about. I know Iron Fist. I didn't know anything about this Shang-Chi guy.
So Shang-Chi is like
the protege, or
no, they're like on the same level almost. Like they dueled each other to a standstill, and
oh, weird. Okay.
So,
Anyway, we got that coming out. I'm meh. Looks kind of meh to me, but
I mean,
we'll see.
just because no one knows who Shang-Chi is, and
I guess.
I mean, I thought it was a cool. If they do Mandarin right in this one, then it'll be good.
Yeah, and Eternals. Eternals is coming out soon.
Is that a TV show?
I
Or a
don't
movie?
know. I'm just for those of you who don't know, I'm big into collecting Funko Pops, and they released like a whole line of them because I guess there's a show or I think it's a movie that's coming out,
Because I saw the trailer,
and
but I don't remember if it was a movie.
so that's coming out. The What If series is pretty big right now. So,
I heard What
Cool.
If is pretty good,
yeah, it's
but I haven't seen it yet.
it's pretty awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff that they're doing. Pretty much all the stuff they're pumping out. I'm like, yeah, that's dope.
Okay. Well,
But anyway,
Well,
that's our news update.
Any news in video games?
No,
No new video games. All right.
I actually went to GameStop like 2 weeks ago and got into a conversation with the guy. I was pretty much just like, "So why are there no new games coming out? Like, why are there? There's like nothing." He's like, "No, there's like a new Madden or a new baseball game," and I was like,
yeah, okay.
okay.
Oh, let me just get Forza 2021. Like,
yeah." And I don't know. Ever since the pandemic, like they just, I think we've hit a drought video game wise. At least in my opinion. Maybe I'm just getting older and
maybe.
more picky, but no, nothing on video games.
And that's the way the news goes.
Dude, that's copyrighted.
Now today we're going to be talking about a TV series, animated TV series, Invincible.
Amazon original?
It is. It's an Amazon original.
Well, I mean, it started as a comic book. It was its own
Right,
comic book.
right.
And then, I mean, I guess Amazon got whatever rights. But a very, very good series.
Sean introduced this to me.
Yeah. My original introduction to this scene, well, you guys remember we were all eating at Smash Burger. And I was like, check out this fight scene. And it was like Omni-Man going nuts on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was like, whoa, what?
wait, I didn't mean to say that. Guardians of the Globe.
Right.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So major spoilers. I mean, it's a relatively new series, but it's been out for a little bit. So like, you know.
So if you haven't had time to watch it, too bad.
I mean,
we're gonna keep going.
Go watch it right now.
Click pause, watch all the episodes,
Yeah.
click play.
And come back. Let's jump into some first impressions, though. So we've all seen it. Chase, what do you think?
I give it like a 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna go 8.
Okay.
There were some things that I mean, I wasn't a fan of, but I really did love the show.
Right on. I'm actually going to give this a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh.
I loved this show that much.
It was really good.
And I
changed my answer to 9.6.
I had to squeak that up. I had a hard time finding something that I did not like about the show. And the very, very minor things I didn't like, I liked that I didn't like it. That sounds a little confusing.
Okay, yeah.
But, like, there are things in shows where you're like, oh, I hate that character. Like, a good example is, like, Joffrey from Game of Thrones. When you watch it, you're like...
But
you like
loved
that you
it.
hate him.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this guy, I hate him so much. But that's a good thing because it's sparking that emotion
Exactly,
in you.
exactly.
Which makes a good show. So I think that's kind of where it was falling, where I was like, I don't like this, but I like that I don't like it. But and we'll dive into that. But
See-
I loved pretty much the whole show. It was great.
See, for me, like there were moments in the show, just sort of sprinkled in there, that would like stop the action dead, and so like, oh man, I'm super into this. I'm super into this. I'm super into this.
Okay.
And then something stupid would happen, and I'd be like, well, that's dumb, and I'd just like go to a 0. But like the very next scene would just get me right back into it, where I was like, okay, no, this is still really good. Like, so it wasn't bad. There were just some moments where I was just like, like, why would you do that?
Well, I guess let's keep going with that. I guess let's start with the negative because I assume there's not going to be very much of it. So what were some of the for you, Sean? What were some of the negatives of Invincible that gave it an 8? Like, why didn't it get a 10?
So, as far as like TV shows and especially with comics nowadays,
Right.
a lot of people are trying to like insert this political correctness and like this, I don't know,
Agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you remember Doc Seismic? That guy who like controlled rocks and stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Misogyny.
That's where they.
No, yeah, he's like, I'm a bad guy. By the way, misogyny, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Okay, well, I let's talk about that too. So why does that bother you?
No, okay, so there was even a line in that scene where she was like, "What are you talking about? You're a seismologist."
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, well, I minored in gender studies." It's like,
Right.
why would you inject that into like this super cool fight? Like, you would take the time to stop the fight and say, "Me, misogyny," and then keep going.
Because he was saying, like, that's the reason he's doing all of this. That was his motive. Which I get is weird, but I guess to me is that, like, there are crazy people out there, so, like, who are we to be, like, you know, to determine the crazy people's motives? Like, why does the bad guy have to follow our motive? Does that make sense? Like, who's to say that he can't act that way?
No, what I'm saying is, like, if you have a character who's pissed off at misogyny, for example, and is, you know, he or she is out there just like wrecking the place, and
Right.
like that's their thing, that's fine. But like, this was a guy who like had this persona, this setup, and
But that's how they set him up, was the way you just described.
no, they set him up as a seismologist with rocks and all,
So,
like this.
someone who's, like, actively, like, trying to, like, crush the patriarchy can't be a seismologist?
I'm saying they set him up in a certain way, and in order to inject the agenda, they stopped the action, the fight, and the whatever was going on to say, blah, 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 misogyny. Okay, back to the fight. And I feel like it stopped dead.
Okay. But, like, I
No,
think the
not-
point
not
they were
that
trying
you
to make
can't-
is that he was crazy, and I thought it just, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of...
Yeah.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, along similar lines, like, what if you had a guy who was, like, a mad scientist, but he was also a cult leader? So, would you be upset, like, I'm a mad scientist, and I made these cool gauntlets, and I want people to join my cult, or I'm gonna kill you? Like, are you like, you're just pushing your agenda? That's annoying.
Yeah. So
But
there's
that's-
this guy,
that's
like, say,
motive.
like a Dr. Frankenstein type of person who's running around and blasting science things, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing this for the, I don't know, like the god of death," and it's just like, why would you stop the fight from whatever perspective to stop and explain this and
So
then
you
keep
hate
going?
you hate that they just, like, monologued.
Yes, I feel like I
Okay.
feel like they stopped mid-fight.
Okay.
To
I
explain-
think we're on two different pages here. Okay, I could see how that's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
How they, like, kind of look at the camera. Oh wait, this is why I'm doing
Exactly.
this.
No, that's exactly what happened. Like, they
I
were
thought it was
fighting-
like the subject matter specifically.
No,
I'm
no.
like, you can interchange the subject all you want. It's still the same. Like,
Yes, and that's why it was
Okay.
annoying, because they stopped the action dead to talk
Gotcha.
about misogyny.
Okay. I understand now.
Yes.
So, what about favorite characters?
Wait, do we still want to go on least favorite character? I heard you mention Amber. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm kind
yes.
of excited.
My least favorite character.
Wait, so sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but you gave this a 9, right?
I gave it a 9.
So is this the reason it's a 9? Because you didn't like what you're gonna say next, like this particular character?
Yes.
Okay.
And, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So 9 because Amber. And I don't know. I get the whole high school, you know, love interest, different things, right? But it was like all of a sudden Amber shows up. He goes head over heels over Amber. He was into Eve for a second, briefly.
I mean,
Briefly, yeah.
yeah, she's like a...
Like a flame, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the one thing about Amber that I just don't get was later when he goes to tell her, "Oh, hey, I'm invincible." She's like, "Oh, yeah, I know."
Oh,
Right?
I hate that.
That
But-
was my big gripe too, yeah.
Right. So there's that, but then she's given him like, okay, so if she's known for a while, that means she hasn't cut him any slack on anything else.
Seriously. Like, especially the scene where they were on the college campus and the robots attacked. And she got super upset. She was like, "You left. You're a coward."
Yeah,
and
she
blah,
called him
blah,
a
blah.
coward.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I knew you were a superhero." And it's like, "What do you mean you knew? He was there. He was fighting to protect you. What are you talking about?"
I mean, I guess we don't know when right? But part of me, I'm just like, eh. I really think that they could have just done without Amber in the show.
In the comics, she's pretty pivotal.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
she's exactly like
it's
that
like
in
not
the
having
comics.
MJ in Spider-Man.
I guess.
Like, but
And that-
I kind of see where you're coming from, though, because you want to watch action, you don't want to watch high school drama, like
That's
cringe.
true.
Does that make sense?
Is that what you were talking about? The character that you love to hate?
Yeah, the character I loved hating was Amber. Chase pretty much got it right on the money. I hate that she gave him zero slack because she claims to have known him all along, which I
Yeah.
think is BS. I hate when characters do that. Like,
Yeah.
I knew you were a superhero. But if you did, why were you so upset when he would text and be like, "Hey, I'm not coming over for dinner"? Like, in your mind, were you not processing, "Oh, I'm like saving the world," or "I'm doing this"?
Yeah.
And
That time he got split open by Battle Beast, and she was like, "You didn't come to my homeless lunch."
yeah, exactly. But I hate that she cut him zero slack, and at the end they kind of like break up, but not really. It's just kind of like a "I'm not talking to you anymore" kind of a thing. And the whole college campus, they're fighting the whole time. And then I started thinking, like, you know, that's not how people would react. But then I think back to high school, and I'm like, well,
Oh boy.
actually,
I think it's
people
easy
high
to forget these characters are like
Yeah.
17.
high schoolers are pretty emotionally volatile.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, if a high school girl's, you know, like, you need to come no matter what, and something happens, well, that was the most important thing at the time, and that she's going to be upset about it. And
Yeah.
so
You lied to me.
that's kind of where I gave some slack, where I was like, you know what, I'll give Amber and Mark at times a pass because they're in high school and they're still figuring stuff out. And, you know, it doesn't matter if the world's in trouble. A high schooler has a hard time prioritizing, so I'll write it off as a pass. But maybe you guys know, I actually never read the comics. I'd like to.
It's actually pretty spot on. It's pretty good.
My only question was, Amber in the comics, does she, because in the show, Amber is raised like pretty impoverished, right? Doesn't she come from like a rough neighborhood, and that's why she likes to give back?
A little bit, yeah.
Is that how it is in the comics?
No.
I thought she was
I think
like
she was
a
like a
white girl.
suburban white chick.
Yeah. But I guess the show, they kind of gave it a different twist. Which, I mean, if you're a diehard comic fan, I guess would upset you. I'd never seen it, so I didn't know any better. But
I didn't actually read the comic until after I watched the show.
Hmm.
But it's pretty close. It's pretty
that's
good.
cool. Yeah. So that was, again, one of the only things I didn't like, and that was the reason I gave it a 9.5.
Yeah.
Let's go into things that we freaking loved.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot. There's a lot to love about this.
Just sort of as a side note before we get into like the meat, I love the soundtrack, the music. Like, I found myself whenever they played a song that was like, oh, he's flying around the city experimenting with his superpowers. I was like pumped up, and I was like, yeah, this is a good song. And then like during a fight scene or during like some of the really sad scenes, they have like this music, and I was like, oh man, this is phenomenal music.
Okay. So there's characters I like.
Okay.
But about the filming or whatever, the way they played it out was, I love the Invincible cutscene.
Oh my god.
Oh, that
Dude,
was
every
really
time.
cool.
That was amazing. Every time it popped up, I was like, "You got me again!"
Oh yeah.
And how it like progressively got worse and worse and worse with the blood splat.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That was awesome.
But okay, so characters. Love Omni-Man. I really like some of the different character concepts. Because, you know, okay, so with the whole not Justice League, what's it called again? The
Guardians of the Globe.
Guardians of the Globe, you know. You have not Aquaman, not Wonder Woman, not The Flash.
Not Batman.
Not Batman.
Yeah.
Not Superman, technically.
Yeah.
And, like...
But they did it in a way that was kind of funny.
No.
Yeah,
And
it was great.
That's for sure. It was
Yeah.
great. But, you know, those characters have very similar qualities, right?
Yeah.
But someone that I thought, wow, that was, you know, very unique. Well, two was Robot, but Monster Girl. I really liked how, the whole curse of, oh, this is making me younger. So, it's that whole, if I use my powers, negative effect happens. And I like that whole cause and effect instead of, oh, I'm Superman. I have zero consequence.
Right.
I don't know. I like that part. But I really like the concept of Monster Girl. But I love Omni-Man. But I'll get to that later.
I mean, Omni-Man is kind of the pivot point of the whole first season. Well, maybe not the pivot point, but the story.
Yeah, it revolves around him. It is.
Like him and Invincible, obviously. But what about Robot?
I loved Robot.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I mean, from watching the series, you kind of get hints that something's going on with Robot. But you don't know what.
Oh yeah.
You're just kind of like, what the heck is
sinister
going on?
Background.
And there are a couple things that I kind of called. Robot was not one of them. that came out of just like left field. And when they showed his whole deal, I was like, well, okay, all right, you got me, Invincible. That's pretty cool.
I still have a prediction about him for next little while about Robot.
Hold on to that.
Hold on to it.
But I thought like that scene where it was like very emotional, where like the messed up human was put in, because like the Mahler twins were talking to him and they're like, it's not going to feel any different for you, like
you will die.
Yeah.
And he was like totally okay with it. He's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good scene, like very very emotional. And
yeah, I really like. I guess if I had to like choose my favorite characters, I liked Robot. I love Omni-Man. Who else?
Rex.
Actually, Rex I did not
Explode.
like. I understand, but Rex.
I actually really like
Rex is one of those people that like. I understand why he's in the show. I personally don't like Rex because he's a lot like... It's kind of like if you've seen My Hero, he's a lot like Bakugo. I don't like Bakugo because his personality bugs the crap out of me, but I get why people like Bakugo, so I'm okay with it. So Rex, his personality just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I get why he needs to be there. And Robot takes his DNA, which I thought was pretty funny. I kind of just like the main characters, man. I'm trying to think of like some deep ones that I missed.
Okay, here's my favorite character who's not like the main character. Titan, the black guy with like the stone skin.
Is that the guy that takes over?
Over Machine Head.
Oh yeah,
I love Titan.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
That whole episode was like incredible. When he takes over at the end, you're like, what? Oh my god! Like he set up that whole thing, dude.
They mess up. The team.
Oh yeah,
they get worked.
The big cat person.
Battle Beast. Yeah,
Battle Beast.
He's in the comics, like, too. He's a big deal.
So I guess other than characters, what else did you like about Invincible just as a whole?
All right. So Sean and I, we were watching this episode by episode every week.
Yep.
And every week we would talk about it. Should I mention the Omni-Man?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sean and I are talking about Omni-Man, right, the whole time. And we're like, what's his deal, right? Because the whole thing is like,
why would he kill the Guardians?
Right. And we're jumping through theories. And again, we hadn't read any of the comics. We don't know anything. But pretty much came down to, is he good and doing something? Had to do this.
Like maybe the Guardians were bad guys secretly, and he found out and had to take them out.
But I remember it was pretty close to towards the end. Got me thinking about the whole Martian planet where he went and destroyed all of them. The ones that turned old. But I was like, dude, Sean, Omni-Man is a conqueror. It was pretty cool.
And that was when I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you remember that line where he's like, Earth isn't yours to conquer? And I was like, oh, that's tight.
But, I mean, that whole thing where, because with Omni-Man, you don't see his true character. You really only see it 3 times. Beginning, when he kills the Guardians of the Globe. A few episodes in where he kills the Martians.
Episode 2.
Oh, yeah. I guess that was episode 2.
Very next.
And then...
when he's beating
at
the
the
crap
end.
out of Mark, yeah.
And then at the end of season 1.
Yeah. And, the last few episodes of season 1. But it was pretty interesting.
And, I mean, talk about what an interesting dynamic, because when you see the end, when he's talking about how, oh, you need to be strong and we need to do all this stuff for Viltrum, and you go back and watch the episodes, you see things that he does and says that would go along with that, and it's really interesting.
Well, because I remember just watching the whole season, being like, why? The big question that I was asking myself was, why is Omni-Man doing? Why did he do that, and why does he do certain things that he does? Because it was the Battle Beast episode, right? Where was it Omni-Man just watching?
Yeah, he was just watching from above.
And it's like weird, and part of me is like, oh, he wants his son to prove himself, but after you piece it all together, it's like, oh, maybe he wants to conquer the world.
Incredible. I thought it was great. It's sort of the classic, like, you can kind of see a little bit of that dynamic when he's like, why did you make me do this? Why did you make me have to kill all these people, And it's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
What surprised me, it never crossed my mind that he was a good guy. I kind of always just assumed he was a bad guy.
It's just like gut feeling.
Just when he killed the Guardians. And
you're like, oh, okay, so he's the bad guy.
Yeah, I didn't really see a reason to think otherwise. And I kind of called the ending similar. I mean, not as much as Chase. I thought just like if you've seen The Boys, it kind of like Homelander. I thought he just had a superiority complex where he's just like, listen, me and my son are pretty much better than everyone else, so we're just going to do whatever we want on Earth, and that's just how it's going to be. What really surprised me is that I kind of got Superman vibes from Omni-Man, so I kind of assumed it was just him. I didn't realize at the very end that Viltrum is first huge, and is second, I thought they were in hiding, waiting to conquer. No, they're actively conquering. I didn't realize that. And they're like, oh no, we're taking over planets, we're like getting work done.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, because that guy comes and he's like, oh yeah, Viltrums are bad. They are like a pain in my butt. They're conquering worlds. If one's here, we need to know about it. And I'm like, well, surprise.
There's two.
There's two of them now. But kind of jumping back, what I love about this is first how adult it is.
Oh, it's very deceptive.
Because I watch other animations of this style, and they're very
deceptive. That's the wrong word.
They're very tame, or they're very predictable in the combat.
Exactly.
Like people die gracefully, and it's just that cartoony feel. And then you watch Omni-Man just destroy people, and he's like, there's blood everywhere, and
oh, it was so unexpected.
They dive into some like a more darker themes, and I thought it was awesome seeing this kind of animation with that more mature content, and it goes along with the plot. Like, the plot was actually pretty deep. It wasn't just surface level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of the main grabbing point for me, was just how darker it was. I know it sounds weird.
Well,
but
it
really captures
it. Very dark,
It got darker and darker.
Like, I remember the end, like the motion, whatnot, where Omni-Man's like, "Oh, your mother's just a pet."
That hurt me.
But even stuff like
him,
it hurt everybody.
But like other stuff that like normally stuff of this animation would foreshadow, they just show you. Like when Rexplosion like hops out of the shower with duplicate. They're having fun in the shower, and Adam Eve is like, well, like, screw you, you're cheating on me. And I was like, is this happening right now? Oh my gosh. Like,
there you go.
All right. But that's really what pulled me in.
All right, so predictions. I have a slight prediction.
Wait, have any of you read the comics?
No.
Okay.
I
haven't read the comics.
I read up to what I've seen in the comics.
So I have a slight prediction, and that
plus a little more. My bad.
Omni-Man, I have a feeling, will have a redemption arc where he will end up choosing Mark over Viltrum.
Oh.
You think so?
I think there will be a moment, and in my mind, like, again, I have not read anything, don't know anything else other than season 1, right?
Right.
I have a feeling that it'll either be the death of him or whatnot, but he will end up choosing Mark over Viltrum.
I mean, he kind of already did.
Kind of.
You know?
Wait, is this
but-
your prediction for season 2, or is this your prediction for like
Just
the
long
overall?
haul.
Okay, the long haul.
Well, because you remember, like, when the alien came back and was like, hey, there's a Viltrumite and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, yeah, he left. And was like, whoa, Viltrumites don't abandon their post. Like, that doesn't happen. But he did, and he did it for Mark, you know?
Right, but I still feel like, I mean, that could be taken multiple ways. It could be taken as, you know what, I'm just going to go get back up the whole, you know.
But to me, and again, this is like I'm predicting off your prediction. But, you know, if he leaves his post, because he was like one of the few that were chosen to go to a world and like be the spy, right? He was like pretty high up there, is what I was assuming. If he goes back, I'm assuming he'd be in like pretty big trouble because Viltrumites are pretty ruthless. So I wonder if like the Viltrumites would be like turn against him, you know?
Or maybe he just goes to a different planet for 1,000 years.
That's
comes
true.
Back.
That's true. I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
Well, I mean, as far as predictions go, I thought it was great that they kind of did that for us. Because throughout the season, you see Mark fighting these things, and, like, at the very end, they were like, oh, so what are you going to do in the meantime? And it shows you, like, oh, this guy is going on. Like, Doc Seismic is building an army. Mars is in trouble.
Yeah, that's right, Mars.
And, like, all this stuff is, like, it's like building up, and they're showing you like, oh, he's making enemies, and so I thought that was really cool that they're kind of showing a precursor, I guess, of all the things that could happen, that are probably will happen. And
I think it'd be cool is if, and this is, I guess this is kind of cheating, but like the end of season 1, Omni-Man flies off of Earth and just he's AWOL. He's just gone. We don't know why. We don't understand what he's doing, what his motive is. But I would love for the next couple seasons to just be dark, meaning he doesn't show up, and we don't know what's happening. And
maybe as like a teaser at the end of season 2 or something.
no, I mean, maybe I'm an extremist, but I'd have like 3 seasons of just focus,
nothing.
just focus on Invincible, and just focus on him, like, because season 1 he had a really rough time with his powers,
Yeah,
and
right.
even he had a rough time like joining the team and just being a superhero. And I think it'd be cool to have like a couple seasons of just us focusing on Mark and him being a superhero. And you know, you can already do so much with villains and the League and all that stuff, and then just randomly season 5, boom, Omni-Man comes back, and it's like, whoa, what's happening? And
Like, I think it's going to be interesting to see, because like you can definitely tell that Invincible is way weaker than Omni-Man.
exactly.
So
I
to
think
see
we
him
need
build up to that strength level.
exactly. I think we need time to really fall in love with Mark and to see him get to the point where, like, when Omni-Man comes back, I want to be sitting there thinking, I think Mark can take this guy. You know what I mean? I want to sit there and be like, I don't know. Like, I think he can take him now. And
I had another prediction.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. But another prediction about Robot.
Oh yeah,
the
you
bots.
told me you haven't told me the prediction yet, but you told me you had one. So bring
Okay,
it on.
so prediction about Robot. Later, you know, season 2, 3, whatever, either Monster Girl is going to reject him or die. And he's going to go off the rails, and I have a feeling he's just going to become a bad guy.
Like a super awesome
Okay.
supervillain.
He could be a great supervillain.
He really
yeah,
could.
you were already kind of getting those vibes.
Like, I mean, I remember watching it, and we're like, oh, you know, because he got
I think that's
smaller twins, different things like that, and I'm like, ooh, maybe. But I think he's already gone to that point before.
Yeah.
What's to stop him from doing it again? I don't know.
I think that's a really accurate prediction because most of Robot's identity is like, I like Monster Girl.
Yeah.
I think, I
mean, he did
You
that.
might just be right.
I mean, he was how many years old? He's like 30 something.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think he's
I
like just
don't
hit
know.
30.
I have no idea.
He mentioned it when he was, you know, blob in the test tube. But yeah, you know, he turns into, he gets the body and everything, but
And he pretty much based that off of her,
Right.
like his appearance and his because she thought Rex was attractive and he wanted to appear younger, and Yeah, it's
I don't know.
actually some creepy vibes when you dig deep, but yeah.
Well, I mean, they do address that. Rex was
Yeah.
like, "What the f is this?"
And is the other guy Samson, the guy that like
Black Samson, yeah.
the guy that's angry and has no powers, but sometimes has powers.
No,
No,
he got his powers back at the end of
Yeah.
that fight.
Because
I
he
thought
got
that was weird.
defibbed.
Yeah, that was weird.
I guess the defibrillator's how you charge him.
Yeah, he just needed to swallow a couple batteries. He's good.
There you go.
But anyway, Invincible, great show. Go watch it immediately.
Yeah.
Season 2,
Binge it.
hopefully
It's a bingeable
2022.
show. Yeah, that's what it's rumored to be 2022. I take that with a grain of salt though, because everything's getting pushed back.
It's got long
man.
episodes. They're not just like the normal 22-minute.
Oh man, though, like as soon as this came out, like there was immediately an announcement for seasons 2 and 3, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
And they have enough content with the comics and stuff that they can. They can go. This can be a thing for a long.
And
I
time.
remember
that's
seeing a
ju-
picture. You showed me this picture where it was like
The canon, yeah.
The stack of the comic
There's
books and
a
like
huge
there was
stack.
a post-it note. It was like, this is how far into the story we are.
and it's just
And that's
barely.
if
breaking the
they
surface.
only do comic book stuff. Like I think there's a lot of different things that can be explored.
I just really, really wish that Amazon or Netflix, companies like this, could push stuff out a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
It takes a lot.
I mean,
for,
I know
for
the
that
pandemic,
level of animation.
The pandemic probably messed with our timelines a little bit. Of course they did, but like, man, it feels like it's forever before something's released that's good, and then you binge it, and then you have to wait.
And then you got to
again.
wait 2.5 years for the next. This is the next
yeah.
season.
I mean, that's the name of the game. Same with like Rick and Morty and other stuff. It's just the animation, the pandemic, and just the way Amazon runs, I guess. But
Well, it's not just Amazon; it's everyone. But
yeah, it's everyone. But I don't know. At least we're getting a second season.
that's true.
So, at least it's coming. Anyway, that's Invincible. Check it out, and we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great day.